Hello, this is Sibyl and Apollo. Hey, boy. And this is a political video training the MAGA. We're going to look at Newsom. We're going to look at the attempted military takeover of our country by the current taco. And welcome to my channel if you're new. I do spiritual and political videos. I teach spiritual development, opening up clairvoyant abilities, so receiving guidance. I teach healing, and I have classes on my website, Sibyl Harmony, down there. So we're going to look at, but let's look at these. We're going to look at, somebody asked me about Clay Higgins, a representative from New Orleans. Let's look at the Andrew, the makeup artist who was deported to a gulag in El Salvador by Taco's administration. And let's look at Gavin Newsom. I feel like they're really gearing up this fight for the midterms, to stop the midterms, to take over the country, and their focus is on Democratic governors or whoever is that they could, like Newsom, they feel is a threat. This is really an attack against Newsom. And I really feel like, the Republicans, the current GOP, they own this, okay? They own this, and they have lost respect. So a lot of times a lot of women watch psychic channels, men too. I love it when men are more developed and are interested in watching psychics, so that's really cool. Mostly women do. And I don't want to get into that, there's no judgment on that. It's just, I'm really excited when men are tuned into their higher self and higher truths. So anyway, back to what I was saying. What was I saying? There's so much going on. Newsom is their target. Sorry, I lost my train of thought. I'm really channeling, and I'm going to drop more into channeling now with my guides. I'm going to do a video on the new Earth that's coming, and that's coming out tomorrow at 12 o'clock. The new Earth, how we're shifting away from violence, war, destroying the Earth, and greed, which is what is affecting us now. Oh, that's what I was talking about. Speaking of greed, the current Republican, they have lost respect. So women, the reason I was bringing up women is because I feel like a lot of times higher developed beings and women are more interested in love and compassion and empathy and treating others fair. But men, even old school men, are really more, and I feel like as I've grown in my spiritual development, is I respect myself more. And that matters to me. Because who you are, wherever you're only here temporarily, who you are, wherever you go, that's where, that's what you're bringing. And if you don't respect yourself, you've lost something. And I feel like that is the problem with the GOP, is that they are greedy and they have no respect for themselves. And that is a karmic disaster. Whether, we see that, if they see, I think we do see that in the midterms. But this whole attempt here, bringing in the military, in case you don't know, the military was brought into LA, and I totally support peaceful protest, and that's how we make our voices heard and hold people accountable and all that. But violence is like really, are you ready to go to I mean, that's what I thought. Is this going to a WAR? Is that where we're going? A civil WAR? I don't think so. I don't think Taco really wants that. I think that what he wants is to take power. And he's really kind of a baby. He wouldn't want that. And he would probably lose that. But he wants to kind of use the military and the law to take power and stay in power, because he knows as soon as the midterms come, he's getting impeached, and then he's committed a whole bunch of crimes, even though he apparently has immunity, whatever. But he really just wants to win, and he wants to be powerful and have his ego stroked. So that's really what this is about. And if it ends up in a W, it looks like a WAR, he's fine with that. But I feel like he's really afraid of that. He doesn't really uh, taken it to there. But a lot of his followers, a lot of these militias and whatever, the P boys and all them guys, they want to do that. They're up for that. But I don't feel like but America doesn't want that. We don't want that. But I said in my video before that I feel like he will fail in this, but that's what we're living through now, an attempt to take over the country militarily, and with the law, with his illegal law moves. So if that makes sense. Okay. So I wanted to look at Gavin Newsom and look at his purpose and his soul. Like, why is he here? And when I look at him, he is powerful. I believe he's powerful enough to be president. I feel like he's done some kind of soul searching on a lot of levels. He's to get to governor, and I feel like he's preparing himself for a presidential run. I do feel like, he's not my preferred candidate, but I'll take him, someone who'll hold the country together over, and protect women's rights and, be reasonable with the environment. We need more than reasonable with the environment, but because that should be the main topic, but we're all talking about all this mess and distraction. But anyway, I feel like, he is hooked up with big money somehow, and he would be pushed out there by the corporate media. So I don't know if the left is really going to go for him, but if it came down to him and some, like Josh Hawley or like what's his face, Taco, trying to stay in there, I feel like he would win. Well, let's look at that. But a lot of where Gavin Newsom is coming from is past lives. I read past lives when I look at people, because the lessons go from one life to another. It's like if you haven't done first grade in math or whatever, counting, you can't really go to second grade or third grade because you need that. So what is he bringing with him from his wisdom or his lessons or his skills, or what is his life path or his karma that he's doing here? He's very good with people and relationships. So he understands that. He knows, Gavin Newsom knows how to support somebody. So he actually would be supportive of some big donors and be out there and be their mouthpiece and be their, which could be really not good, but it could also work if the big donors had good intentions for America and were helping people, which, I mean, there are some, I'm not against billionaires, but it would depend on who's backing him, because I know he's given subsidies to oil companies, but he also is fighting, is helping with the environment. He runs a really good economy here, even though it's on the expensive side. So is everybody else, but not as much. But but I feel like he's really good at managing things and running things. He has a intuitive side to him where he knows things. He's very good with strategy. He's very good with supporting somebody. But is he good enough? Is he strong enough to support himself? I feel like he has. I feel like he's crossed that Rubicon where he can be the power himself. And even when you're president, he would really work with his cabinet and his whoever was backing him. And so that's why I feel like the other reason is he could get in, because he would be malleable. He would be workable with these people. Sometimes they tell him to do things, and then the people of California don't like it, and we push back, and he does back down. Most of the time, he will back down. So he understands like how to win, and so he's good with that. So he's very intelligent, and I understand he comes from a wealthy family, which is not bad or wrong, but okay, so let's look at Gavin Newsom. Let's just look at him this week because there are threats to have him arrested. And let's see, is he going to be arrested? They want to hurt him. There is a real threat out here. But he hasn't really broken a law. You can't arrest somebody because you don't agree with them, but they're looking for something to get him on. So let's see if he's going to win the lawsuit against the Taco administration. Let's see. But let's look at him this week, and I'm going to pull 3 cards for him this week, and let me look at him psychically. I just feel like he feels like he's really alone. This is his moment to step into power, and he is fighting, okay? He's fighting. There's hope. He has a star of hope. This is good. I don't feel like he's going to jail. But they can't. What are they going to do? It's just going to lead to more battles. Like, we're just getting started here. So we have this big parade coming up on the 14th, and I encourage people to go out and peacefully protest. I'm rooting for you. I may go and walk in some peaceful protest somewhere locally. I haven't checked that out yet. But just be careful. Not, we want to be peaceful because it puts us out. It makes us look better for the principles that we're standing for, to stop these immoral or even illegal deportations of, families and children and people who are working. And yeah. Okay, so just because we haven't streamlined the immigration process, we haven't figured it out yet, but here we are. And I'm not blaming Democrats or Republicans, but yeah, this is being used as a wedge to take power by Taco. Let's see, who I don't see staying in. I feel like he will be impeached. I don't know when. And I also feel like JD Vance might get in, but he wouldn't stay very long, or he might be impeached with him. I just don't see this succeeding. And I'll explain a lot about that in my video coming out tomorrow, The New Earth. Okay, but I want to get into those types of spiritual discussions here because this is mostly a political video. So yeah, so I don't feel like he gets arrested, and he's going to continue the fight. This is a fight. Will Gavin Newsom be the Democratic candidate? He's got the money behind him. Wow. Wow. That might be a no. Wow. There's somebody else coming. I thought that he was kind of a shoo-in. Well, he's looking at like, I don't know if I want this fight. This is really ratcheted up for more, like, politicians get in there to pass laws and, campaigns. Hopefully one would hope to be serving the people, not to be like warriors in a battle, which is where he is now. So he's got big money backing him, but I don't feel like the people are going to go for him because we really are going into a new time where we don't want any corruption. Like, even small corruption is it's still corruption. We really want somebody new. Wow. So that is, I think I was thinking that, the mainstream media will push him out there if he stays in, if he still, it can put up with all this, which is not really this is not the kind of fight he was, he's not like a warrior. He's not like a kind of person that will go in there and just fight to the death. He's not like that. He's more like a politician, a statesman, a little bit more like Biden. They were not warriors. They're there to work on policy and get donations and talk to people and give speeches. They're not there to fight a war. That's not in their DNA or their karmic pattern. So, okay, let's look at Andrew, the makeup artist. Let me look at him psychically. No, I kind of don't want to read on this because I don't want to upset family members, and I could be wrong. I just feel like he doesn't feel well. And I just hear from, like, I'm in a bad place. Okay, I'm in a bad place. I feel like he's sleeping on the floor. Oh, he's really emotionally upset. Um, there's not good news. Oh, there's hope. Okay. I feel like they're going to focus on him now, more getting him back. So there may be celebration. He may be coming back. Wow. Whew. Okay, that was okay. Let's look at Representative Clay Higgins of Louisiana. Somebody asked me to do a past life reading on him, and when I do a past life reading, I usually look at 3 lifetimes, and I didn't do that with him, but I did see that he was some kind of warrior, higher up, who's some kind of general somewhere. Like I see him wearing like animal skins and with spears. He was really, but he was like included in the like royalty or the cabinet or the group of the men, the powerful men that were running. He may have been even in charge of some state or some area or providence, or whatever you call it, wherever he was. Very warlike, very competitive, and really kind of on the fringes when it comes to his beliefs and his ideas. So I don't know why you wanted me to look at him, but let's pull 3 cards for him for the midterms. I don't know if he's up in the midterms. Okay, so I don't know. So let's just look at the next 2 years for him. Okay. Well, he sits in power. He's got loaded with conspiracy theories and delusional. Oh, he's going to lose. He's out of there. He is out of there. Right now, he feels like he's in a place of power, and he is. He's a representative. He's bringing forth conspiracy theories, kind of nuts, just all this crazy stuff. Some of it which may have some truth, which usually conspiracy theories do. But in this case, I feel like he's very delusional. What if he's drinking? Yeah, that he may be hitting the bottle, hitting the wild turkey or something. Yeah. And he will lose. Not a good future for him. Okay. So a lot of the extreme MAGA candidates, they're losing. People don't want this. So, all right. And then let's talk about training the MAGAs. I went to my MAGA family graduation and MAGA barbecue last Sunday. And I kept getting this thing from my guides, like to go, and I feel they didn't bring up Taco. They didn't want to talk about politics, and I feel like that from the funeral. If you watch my videos, there was a funeral. My daughter-in-law OD'd on fentanyl last year, and I was at the funeral, and I really stepped up and I was supporting everybody and hugging everybody. It doesn't matter if they're a MAGA or not. They were grieving and they needed support. And that's what I do. I keep my side of the street clean. If we're going to teach compassion and empathy, we don't want to, we need to model that. We need to show that. And so, there's an old saying, be careful when chasing monsters that you don't become one yourself. And so I believe the way that people learn and grow is by what you show them. When you show them, understanding, empathy, and compassion, doesn't mean they shouldn't be held accountable. Doesn't mean you can't have boundaries. I'm not saying you need to go hang out with MAGA people, but these people invited me there and I went. And so something that happens with me is that, like, wherever I am, it gets healed. I'm a healer, and I've had these past lives in Egypt where I was in charge of the grounds of the temples, and so everything had to be purified that came into the healing temple. And I don't know if that's what it is, or because I'm a Lemurian or whatever. I'm not trying to brag about myself. I'm just saying, you have a God spark in you. You are spirit. You are divine. You are higher self too. And so it's just a matter of you're waking up to who you really are. So just because I know who I am doesn't mean I'm special or better than other people. It doesn't mean that. It just means that I've went on a journey to uncover who I am and what my gifts are, what I'm here to bring to the world. And you may be here to bring, excellent cooking or fixing cars. There's no wrong thing. It's all needed. But anyway, back to me, wherever I go gets healed. So I was feeling this energy. I was like, the energy of the, and it just like, so I prepare myself. I do meditation. I use crystals. I use prayer whenever I go anywhere, because that's what I do as a spiritual teacher and a healer, and so a master healer. And so I didn't go to try to heal anything, but it just happens when I'm there. Like, I'll see all the spirits or all the deceased people or all their family members or the issues, or I'll say something. And so we had a lot of really interesting conversations, and I could see from what I did October, they're like, the MAGA, my daughter-in-law, the new daughter-in-law, who actually threw my grandson out of her house and was, violent and abusive with him, was like praising him and saying, I'm so proud of you graduating from high school. I'm like, what happened? What happened? Like, they changed. My guide said that they have changed. And I was like, okay, not to where I think they should be, but people aren't supposed to be where I think they need to be. They're supposed to be where they need to be, learning what they need to learn. And so I saw this, like, is there some way that we, through our example and our words and our actions, that we are here training them? Because they're always own the libs. They don't own me. So don't let yourself be programmed or owned. Have your boundaries. And so I don't suggest anybody do this unless you're really grounded and done your work, or maybe you have, just a knack with you and you can just go into places like this and be like a positive influence. If that could happen, you don't have to be like some praying and meditating for hours like I do. But it was just really, I feel like that's how we heal our planet. That's how we get out of this, one person at a time. So I know, like, the grandmother hated me. She's like, well, she disowned me on Facebook because I put up things about Chaco, like years ago against him. And she was, how could you say that about our president? And I'm like, well, and then she unfriended me. And so I could tell, you can tell somebody doesn't like you. They're like, rolling their eyes, or, whatever. And we were able to have conversations about her daughter that passed, and how I was seeing her daughter come around us, that she felt her daughter was touching her in the middle of the night. I'm like, yeah, that's her, because I've experienced the same thing. And she's come to me, and so I was able to share my mediumship with her, and she needed to have somebody to talk to about that. And so this is how we heal, one person at a time, through ourselves, not by owning them or trying to force them. You don't force people into healing, but it's like walking up. Anyway, I just thought I wanted to share that with you. And yeah, it's so I mean, I do once in a while with my grandson who mentions something. I feel like he's kind of split between which party. He says he feels more Republican, but I tell him, like, he's just, you know, destroying the economy. He's destroying schools. He's like, the reason you're getting this money from state of California is because of Kamala Harris. You know that, right? And he's like, oh, I didn't know that. Yeah, yeah. So, yeah. So anyway, um, okay. Uh, so, all right. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe. It really helps my channel. Check out my classes. So they're on my website. There's a free group I'm doing, Feel the Magic in July. That'll be really fun. So I'm going to be teaching people about how to connect with energy and what your energy is and how to raise your frequency and manifest. And yeah, it's really, really going to be cool. And then I'm doing a certification training. You don't have to take, if you take all three, the class for, and the videos come with it, the class for July, which is your clairvoyance, your clairaudience, how to do that. Then I'm doing August, we're going to be diagnosing chakras with the pendulum, really cool, and healing. And so that's going to be really cool. And then in August, we're doing the shadow work, shaman's journey, and yeah, so that's, you're helping you in your path to awakening. And yeah, so whether you want to work with people and do what I do, or you want to heal yourself, friends and family. So check it out. And I will be seeing you soon, sending you lots of love. Say bye, Apollo. Okay, take care. Oh, wait, I had some other questions. I'll have to answer them on Saturday. Okay. What? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not a professional video. I'm just a. There was one more question here. Where are you? Um. hmm, Will Elon be deported? I don't think so. I think he's just going to leave. I don't think Elon's being deported. Okay. All right. Take care.